Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 532. The last day in Mesa, Arizona. Ken will be happy. Tomorrow, probably no show tomorrow, but then back to probably a regularly scheduled program on, what's today, Tuesday? Thursday morning. So a little card talk today because yesterday was the first afternoon that I had that I didn't watch baseball from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Last Tuesday when I flew in, I was able to catch like an hour of the minor league practice, and then that was about it. So last Tuesday was kind of a slow day, but then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. baseball. Minor league practice in the morning, minor league games or big league games. Took in 3 of the Cubs big league games, 2 home, 1 away. Probably go into today's game. So it's been a lot of baseball. It was super hot, like 4 days of the 7, now 8 days that I've been out here. Like 97 degrees, sun beating down, and I'm in the lawn without sunscreen. So I learned my lesson early, at least. But it's actually chilly this morning. It's only 55 degrees. It rained a little bit last night. It's supposed to rain off and on today, which is kind of good because my sinuses were super dry because the air was super dry most of the time that I've been here. So especially yesterday, since I had the afternoon, it was nice that we got a little moisture in the air. So help my sinuses out, so they weren't so dry. But today's getaway day, so I've got to check out of the hotel. I don't want it to rain all day because what am I going to do? My flight's not until I think 6:30 p.m. tonight. So I'll have a lot of free time if practices and games get canceled today. So let's see. We've got a busy chat. That's good. Jenny, what's up? Ken, wanting that card talk. Victor, good morning. Jenny says eBay was wild last night. Everyone must be getting home from spring training and breaking. And there were some big shows this past weekend. I actually met somebody on the practice fields yesterday who had driven down from Vegas. He was at the Mint Collective. And he was looking to get a couple autographs of Christian Hernandez, the top prospect. So speaking of that, I will do here's some card talk, unexpected. So my strategy, actually, I altered my strategy on eBay, my eBay store, since I was on vacation, business trip, not vacation. Because I actually am doing a lot of business out here. Anyway, my strategy was to shut my store down because I didn't want to come home to 1,000 items to ship out, because I'm moving upwards of 100 sales per day, gone 8 days. It could be 7, 8, 900 items to ship when I get home. So I went in, and when I went on over a European trip a couple years ago, at that time my eBay store, you didn't have the option status. So when you go in and try to make this concise as I can. So when you put your store in vacation mode, it automatically updates your handling time. So my items aren't late. So basically I do a 3 or 4 day handling, but you're gone 8 days. Now everything, as long as you set your vacation timer up. So I set it through, I think, Wednesday, because I get home late, like midnight tonight. So I set it through tomorrow. So and I think it goes 3 days after tomorrow. So I'll have the 3 day handling time beginning with tomorrow. So I didn't take my store offline. That was the original plan. But since I didn't have to go in and manually update handling times for 11,000 items, that was easy. I was going to monitor it very closely, though, because I didn't want to all of a sudden have 100 sales per day even though I have the handling time backed out, I didn't want to come home to 800 items to ship and then just be completely waylaid for a week. And basically, that would put me behind. Have the handling time backed out. I didn't want to come home to 800 items to ship and then just be completely waylaid for a week. And basically, that would put me behind for weeks, just catching up from past sales and trying to climb out of current sales. And then that window, because now with new sales after that vacation period, you still have these sales that have to be shipped within 3 days. So you're basically, doubling up on everything. So fortunately, with that vacation mode in, I didn't make the quantity of sales, but I did have some quality sales. So I did actually make decent money on some bigger sales. And I was a little more stringent on my lower dollar sales. And, if people are offering, sometimes I'm a little, if sales, quantity of sales are a little slower, I'll take $1.20 offer. But usually I stick to $1.30 out and what type of offers I would accept. Funny thing, I've talked about this guy before. He's got some like $1,000 cards in his eBay store. I looked a couple weeks ago, he sold a $450 card. He wants one of my cards in my eBay store. It's listed for $75. And I've told him numerous times, 50 is my lowest. It's still the off season. I'm not going to sell it for any lower than 50. And he cries poor every time. It's for my nephew. I don't have this much money. And I'm like, dude, sell some cards that are in your eBay store. You've got $30,000 in cards in your eBay store. You just sold a $500 card a couple weeks ago. I thought about sending that again. And he gave me the sob story about how $35 is a lot of money. It's for his nephew, blah, blah, blah. You sell a lot of items. Well, it doesn't mean I give you a discount. Anyway, I just said 50 is my lowest. Took the high road on that one. So that's how I handled my eBay store. And I think I have, and this sounds like a lot, but it's actually, I've been in this situation just by taking a couple days, away from home. And I think my current items to be shipped 219, which is a lot, but considering over 7 days now, it's not a lot, because I think I put the vacation timer on last Monday night. I got my eBay store down to 0 items to ship by Monday afternoon last week, and then put that vacation timer on. So 219, and and then put that vacation timer on. So 219, and I'm still making some money. Made some high G. Arizona is beautiful, although it's cloudy and rainy today. It was cloudy yesterday, rained in the evening. Must have rained overnight because it was pretty wet this morning when I went outside. Made a McDonald's run. No Dunkin' in here in Phoenix, at least in the area I'm at. Just Starbucks and McDonald's, and that's about it that I've seen. So I had to head to McDonald's. And the gas stations around here don't do like breakfast sandwiches. Like back in Wisconsin, we have Quick Trip, great selection of breakfast sandwiches, hot breakfast sandwiches. A lot of them around here are the microwavable. They're cold, and then you have to put them in the microwave. 7-Eleven, there's a Circle K is out here. There's a Quick Trip, but I think it's with a K out here. Not back home, it's with a Q. Yeah, whatever. But so I've been doing McDonald's breakfast the last few days. It's 11 degrees. I haven't even looked to see what but I'm wearing long sleeve. This is actually what I wore out here. I'm going to wear it today because it's actually going to be chilly in Phoenix today. I think it's only going to be in the 60s for a high. It's 56 right now, a high of 66. So I will keep this on. I'll still rock the shorts, even though I'm going to be heading back to Wisconsin this evening, where it appears to be 2 degrees back home, a high of 40 today, but tomorrow 59 in Wisconsin. So it's basically like what it is right now. It's actually going to be warmer tomorrow than what it is right now in Phoenix. So can't beat that. Perfect timing. Straight execution. Good morning. What young prospect have you seen that looks the best? Think will do great things? Ooh, that's a great question. Moving on to Cubs baseball. So I've watched a ton of minor league practice drills. I've been impressed. Brennan Davis. Now he's on the 40-man roster. He was with the big league camp up until Friday. He was sent back down to minor league camp. Friday. So I think Saturday was his first day of minor league camp. He's a man among boys in minor league camp. I mean, he's just head and shoulders above everybody. And I took some video of him in the cage with batting practice against a machine, just absolutely crushing baseballs. I mean, he's ready, in my opinion. He's ready for the big leagues. Um, if I don't think at this time, and I'm not even sure what the new CBA is regarding. I don't know the language regarding holding players back, what those dates are, if there's a date still. But Brennan Davis will be with the big league team, I would say, before the All-Star break. I don't think he's going to break camp with the Cubs. I mean, he was sent down last week, so he'll be at AAA. But I would see, probably around Memorial Day, maybe, that Brennan Davis will be with the Chicago Cubs. Nice kid too. Very, very cool. I got a card signed. I'll show off some of the autographs that I got. And I also went to a card shop today. So Ken, don't tune out, because I went to a card shop yesterday and I have an opinion on this particular one. It wasn't the one that I had wanted to go to, but it was fairly close, like 10 minutes away. So they actually had what I was looking for. As far as a supply. So Brennan Davis going to be in the big leagues. I would hope by Memorial Day, but definitely by the All-Star break. Kevin Alcantara, nobody seems to know how to pronounce his name. Kevin Alcantara. He looked pretty good. Didn't even get to see him in action until yesterday. So he looked pretty good. He was swinging the ball. Yazon Santana came over in the Padres trade. I didn't see many of his fielding drills, but with the bat, he was putting some good hits on the ball. Christian Hernandez, he's a stud at 17 years old, 18 years old. It's going to be fun to watch him. There's a lot of comps to, which is unfair, Manny Machado, Alex Rodriguez. But he's in his group, in his low A group, he's a man among boys. And when he hits the ball, Christian Hernandez, Brennan Davis, the sound that the bat makes when they hit the ball, when they really make contact, it's big league. It's a big league sound. And Christian Hernandez at 17 or 18 years old has that sound. So he's at least right now, he's still got a lot of development, needs to put some muscle on, but he's looking good. He's looking good for a really young prospect. What's up, Jeremy? Good morning to you. Safe travels. I appreciate that. How much do you have to ship when you get home? $219 right now. That'll go up throughout the day. Trek Korea, good morning. That guy is still around hassling you. Yes. Yep. And I'm sure I haven't heard the last until the card sells, and it will sell for $50 or more. Who knows? It might sell for $75, my list price, but I'm not. It's a gold Heritage Miners parallel, which Heritage Miners is not a big product with a big price tag, but I definitely think it's a $50 card, and that's the price I'm sticking to. I really hate people that do that. Like, I'm a budget collector, aka poor collector, LOL, but I never say, oh, please. Yeah, I've told my price over and over, and I don't mind if they give me the sob story if it's legit. But when I click on your link and I look at your eBay listings and you've got $30,000 in cards listed in your eBay store, and a $500 card just sold, and you're telling me $35 is a lot of money and you can't afford it, and it's for your nephew, and all these, excuses. No, the price might actually go up. I was about to ask if the Dunkin' Donuts there carried your breakfast sandwich. No Dunkin' Donuts. I haven't seen any Dunkins around here. What the gas prices are in Arizona, it's really funny because Phoenix is it's really cool because everything seems so close. But the gas prices have varied so much. I've seen for regular onion and $4.99 for a gallon, which is about $1 to $1.50 more than in Wisconsin. When I left Wisconsin, gas prices had actually dropped to like 3.59 at a lot of places. But I saw the signs. It's like, oh man, I better watch how much I travel out here because I have a rental car. So yeah, so anywhere between 4.50 and $5 a gallon for regular unleaded. Minnesota's getting freezing sleet tomorrow. Yuck. How about prospects for other teams? So I didn't go to any other teams outside of. Well, I take that back because I did watch minor league games with the Cubs. So I didn't see anybody, and I wasn't really watching other teams that played. So I saw the Angels low A team and didn't recognize. I went through the team. I watched a AAA game on Sunday, I think. The only name I recognized was Shea Langoliers, who was a former Atlanta Brave, and I wasn't really paying attention. I was mostly watching the Cubs, so don't have much on other teams. I didn't go to any other camps outside of an away game for the big league Cubs when they played the Angels last week on Thursday. So I didn't really watch, many other teams play. I'm trying to think. Oakland and I think I did talk about this the other day. The Langley Blaze. They're on that Langley Blaze team. 3 kids coming to the University of Illinois. One committed to Xavier, and I'm gonna have to keep track of that roster just to see, because it's like, some of those kids on that high school all-star team, and you think it's like, oh, the Cubs are playing a high school all-star team. They played the low A team, which has a lot of the international free agent signees. Like Christian Hernandez was playing in that game, who's the same age as those kids. So basically the same age for the low A Cubs and the Langley Blaze traveling team. So I want to keep track, because a lot of those kids on that Langley Blaze will probably end up being top 100 prospects. Some of, maybe 1 or 2 and could climb the ranks in pro baseball. So it'll be fun to follow some of those kids. Abraham, what's up? Watching from my hotel in Austin. Very cool. My getaway day is tomorrow. Found some cool 70s cards at a thrift store. Yeah, I think I saw that. You posted on either Facebook or Twitter. Very cool. OG's rooting for the Mariners. Mariners Cubs World Series. Jaron Duran and Nick Senzel, I think, will be off the radar. Good ones this year. Trek Korea is Dan. Okay. I thought that might have been Dan. Okay. OG says oil is under $100 a barrel and gas is over $5 a gallon. Yep. It's the oil prices have dropped considerably in the $5 a gallon. Yep. It's the oil prices have dropped considerably in the last couple weeks, yet some of these gas prices are still out of control. Side note, I tried the shipping tape at bottom of boxes for penny sleeve slip. It does not work. Don't waste your time. 4 hours wasted. Okay, I'm going to read that again. I don't know if I understand. Side note, I tried the shipping tape at bottom of boxes for penny sleeve slip. It does not work. Huh. Okay. I'm not sure. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. Are you talking about like the strips, the sticky strip on like a team bag and using that for tape? I'm not sure. I drive old school Suburban, 8 miles per gallon. Oof. 211 miles round trip to the farm every other day. It's been fun. I'm going to look at Teslas. Yeah. That's a gas guzzler to save the penny sleeves from slipping. Oh, gotcha. So I went to a card shop yesterday. So yesterday morning went to minor league practice, which was kind of a bust. So me and my buddy Alex, we got out there like right at 9, like maybe even a few minutes before 9, and pulled into the parking lot. And so it was an away game for the Cubs, so that you can actually park next to the backfields. On home game days, it's closed off because you have to go pay for parking. So parked in the park, there's like no cars there. And I walk in, my buddy Alex and his girlfriend had actually just arrived shortly after I pulled in. And we walk in, we're the only people there. Usually when I'm there at 9, like there's a smattering of other people, maybe a few people that early, but there was only 2 players like on one of the fields taking some swings. It's like, uh-oh, this might be a slow day. So talked to a security guard. She said that it's just drills today. So they did some drills, then they did some outfield like throwing games. So they had like teams play each other. I wanted to get video, but it's kind of hard with the chain link fence. Like the entire group of minor league Cubs are out there, so it was a lot of obstruction. So there was no good way to take video. So did get some autographs. Was trying to get Christian Hernandez on a baseball. I did get him on a few cards over the weekend, but shot us down. Just kind of walked out the back. But did get some other guys that I had on my list that I needed to get. So I was gonna. It's like, okay, this is a bust. I'm not going to the game. It's a night game. I'm just gonna go grab some lunch, hang out at the hotel, go to a card shop because I wanted the finished autographs in a binder. I was looking for one of those Padfolios. And by the way, side note, I went to 2 Walmarts and a Target. Neither Walmart carried cards or any, like not even Magic, not Pokemon, not supplies, nothing card related at 2 Walmarts here in the Mesa, Tempe area. Went to Target, and I needed to go to Target to pick up some Sharpies. I was missing a black and a blue Sharpie. So went to Target. They did have a card section. It was pretty wiped out. There was some Series 1 and some random other stuff. No supplies. So I wanted to get a Padfolio. So that's why I decided to go to a card shop. And I had some extra time to kill yesterday afternoon. So that's what the plan was. And my buddy Alex is like, well, since it's a night game, some of the big league players might be coming into the Performance Center. Card talk tomorrow. I'm still getting there, Ken. I'm still going to talk about the card shop. So the Sloan Park complex is the minor league fields. There's 4 backfields, and then say that's to the west, and then right in the middle is the Performance Center, and that they have like the indoor batting cages. They have the weight rooms. They have some backfields just for like regular drills and calisthenics, stuff like that. And then they have a batting practice field that's, there's one small set of bleachers where you can actually watch the big league batting practice. And then there's a walkway that goes into the stadium. And then there's like a team store and then hotels on the far east side. You probably won't hear cards. Maybe 12 minutes you might. I'm going to get there eventually. So Alex is like, hey, let's just go to the Performance Center, which the Performance Center right in the middle is like all center near the walking path and the batting practice field. There's like a little cutout, like where the players like walk up, but along the fence, this is really creative. I like the way they designed this. It's a fence, but up in the corner, they have 2 slots where you can slide things to get autographed. Like, how cool is that? I enjoy talking to the players. So it was just another guy and his little son, maybe 5 years old. And it's like, hey, this is perfect. There's just 4 of us, including a kid. How are they going to turn kids down? So this guy, he's from Chicago, and his son, kind of telling us, okay, Wilson Contreras just came in. You just missed him. He came over and signed. These guys are, Suzuki hasn't come. Saya Suzuki hasn't come. So, and that was like time's running out to get Suzuki. Now it's just one game left. And if I don't get him on the pathway, I'm probably SOL. Because I imagine by the time he gets to Chicago, he's going to be burned out on autograph requests. So he was one of the first guys that came up, and he came over. He was super nice, signed a baseball for me, took pictures with us. So it was really cool. And so that made our day. And then Michael Hermosillo came over. He signed a baseball. My friend Patty is a huge Michael Hermosillo fan. She's like his super fan. So I'm like, hey, can I take a video of you saying hi to my friend Patty? And so he's like, oh yeah, absolutely. So I sent that to her because she missed him at the last couple games and didn't get to meet him. So she was loving the video from Michael Hermosillo. Nico Horner came by, got a heritage card signed by Nico. Who else came by? Clint Frazier came by. I got a baseball signed by Clint Frazier. He was super cool. And then Jason Hayward came through, but he had his headphones on and just looking down the whole time and went in. A couple other guys came over. I had already had autographs from them. Mark Leiter Jr., Patrick Wisdom, who I've got several things signed by. He was at Club 400. My buddy Ethan Roberts, he's on the 40 man. Probably will start at AAA to start the season, but he's got an outside shot at being a reliever for the big league club. So him and I, we've actually conversed back and forth since he was drafted back in 2018. And I made some draft day cards, and he's like, hey, he sent me a DM. He's like, hey, how can I get one of these? So I sent a bunch, and we chit chat back and forth, DMs, but we had never met because when I was out here 2 years ago, he had not reported yet because it was only like half the minor league camp because I was here like the first or second week of spring training in 2020. Although if I would have went later, my trip likely would have been canceled because of COVID. And then obviously last year I didn't come out here. There was, pretty strict on player fan relation, interactions. So I actually got to meet him on the pathway, a couple days walking into the stadium, and then he came over and he was telling me about, and he walks up, he's like, Bo, it's a night game. And I'm like, we came over to get Saya Suzuki, and he actually came through. We got a baseball. So he was one of the first pitchers, and I think might have been the first pitcher to face Suzuki in live BP. And he's like, Suzuki came over, and I asked him if he was doing live BP, and he's like, I'm pitching against you. And so he's like, I'm super impressed. So it was really cool to get that personal connection and get that Saya Suzuki insight on how he is as a hitter from somebody who's actually thrown to him in live batting practice. So that was the day, and now I'm going to transition to the card shop, Ken. Going to talk some cards. Just picked up cases of 96 Upper Deck Halloween cards for next year. I'm excited. That is awesome. Can you imagine if we were kids knocking on doors? I would trade all my candy for cards. The cutout was put in by Theo. Awesome. Good job, Theo. Didn't realize Clint Frazier was with the Cubs. Yes, he is. Hopefully he can rebound because he's been kind of up and down in his career, but he had a good hit last night in the game last night. Victor doesn't give any candy. I give out baseball cards, bobbleheads, and small toys. That's very cool. So after so they had meetings at 1:00. So it was 1:00, and I'm like, I'm heading out. It's getting pretty slow out here. There's probably not going to be much action. So went and had a quick lunch and went to a card shop, and I can't even remember what the card shop's name was. It's in Tempe, but it was only a 10-minute drive. And I went in. It's in kind of a strip mall, and I walked in, and I was like super excited as I walked in the door. And Jenny will appreciate this. Ken will probably appreciate this. The entire, and it was a large shop. The entire one wall, floor to ceiling, monster boxes of bargain boxes. And so I'm talking about the Tempe card shop right now. And floor to ceiling boxes of cards, and with tables, a huge area with tables. And I'm like, oh, this is my dream card shop. So there were a couple of guys sorting, and I just kind of walked around. I wanted to get a lay of the land before I went immediately to the boxes of cards. And I was staring through the glass. They were closed, and I was drooling. So yeah, so I walked in. I looked at some of the prices in the showcases, and I wasn't too impressed. They had some junk wax packs. They had 87 Topps rack packs for $5. I thought about pulling the trigger just for fun, but didn't. They had decent prices on new wax. Heritage hobby boxes were $110, which is good. I bought mine for $99 from my buddy Tom at the Madison Card Show last month, but $110's a fair deal. So I looked around. They had what I was looking for, a pad folio. I'll show you what's inside. Ultra Pro pad folio. So I think this holds 360 cards. So I've been wanting to pick one of these up. but I just don't really have a collection put together that I can use this for. But I do now with my autographed Cubs cards. So I'll show off my Cubs cards, but I want to talk about this shop. Tons of supplies. I mean, they even have bubble mailers. Like they have a little bit of everything. So it's a cool shop. But I went back over and I looked at the wall of cards, and it's like you have to make an appointment to to look through the cards. And I'm thinking, what? You can't just walk in, grab a box, and look through. So that wasn't all. So then I'm like, well, screw it. I'm just gonna. There's only two. There's a few guys over looking at the showcases. There's two guys. There's three tables, two guys. So there's an open table. So I walk over and I ask the guy, "Hey, can I look through some boxes?" And he's like, "Yeah." And um, "Are you looking for Pokemon?" Because he had a lot of Pokemon, Magic, stuff like that. Or are you looking for baseball, football, basketball? I'm like, well, baseball mainly, and no Pokemon. And he's like, okay, well, star cards are, everything's basically $1, but like some of the star cards, it just depends on what the card is, because there's gonna be other cards that are more than $1. And I'm like, oh, geez. Because what's the last thing you want to do is you want to dig through boxes, have a pile of cards, and it's like, oh, this card's $4 and it's a 25-cent card. So I'm like, okay. I'm going to look for cards. Also, by the way, no air conditioning. This has been in the mid to upper 90s the last 4 days. Yesterday was a little cooler, but it was still like 85 out. No air conditioning in the shop. And it's like that uncomfortable indoor heat. Like 85 degrees outside is cool. You've got a nice breeze. But inside a store, when it's stuffy and there's no air, it's like, I don't know about this. Not even like a 25-cent, not even $1 box. At least if I know the prices on things, I can get a good idea of what I'm looking for. But he's like, basically everything's $1, but some stuff's going to be more. So there was a Cubs box, because there was a lot sorted by team, which is, hey, really cool if you're priced. If you're not priced, I'm not getting time of day. So I'm like, I'm just going to grab a baseball box. It said like miscellaneous baseball. And so I started looking through it, and it's like 2002 Fleer Tradition, like commons. And it's like, if everything in here is $1, and I mean, it was like, there was no junk wax that I saw. I'm sure there was probably some in there, but there was a lot of just like garbage early 2000 stuff, because I just kind of flipped through. It only took me 1 or 2 boxes to realize this is a giant waste of time outside of getting the Padfolio. So I didn't even sit down. OG says, just around the corner from the Tempe card shop, I found orange grove trees and went crazy picking fresh fruit and making OJ. That's cool. That's cool. So I went and I just bought the Ultra Pro Padfolio. So, and I filled it. So when I got home, it's like, when I got back to the hotel, it's like, I'm going to put some of my autographed cards in. So these are some A autographs: Miguel Amaya, Kevin Alcantara, Pablo Aliendo. I don't know if I showed this off on Twitter, but if you're not on Twitter, I can show here. Patrick Wisdom. This was like the one card that, actually there were a couple, but this was one of the, I'd say I had 5 items that I really wanted signed, and I was actually able to get everything signed this past week. So this was one of them, the Rookie Gold Cup, Patrick Wisdom, silver Sharpie, fills up the card, beautiful signature. So that's probably, and Patrick's an awesome dude. So I was glad to get that signed. Another one, this is just a cool story. So I made 4 cards of Bryce Windham, who's I loved your Auto Corner Books tutorial. Oh yeah, that was, yeah. So here's Bryce Windham. He's like, what are these? I'm like, I just make them for my own collection and get them signed. He's like, can you send me some? I'm like, heck yeah. He's like, I'll get you a game used bat or something. I'm like, That's pretty cool. So I actually put the order in, and unfortunately, the printing company sent them to my house and not out here to Bryce. So got to ship them on. Rich says, I used to visit that card shop, but not so much any longer for the reasons you mentioned. Yeah, I was disappointed. I went in with basically no expectations, but I was soured on the experience. Hot and stuffy inside, no prices in bargain boxes. It was a disappointing trip. Bryce is from Michigan. Very cool. Great guy. Great kid. One of my favorite Cubs minor league guys. I was a little here's a card that I made that I was a little worried, especially with the lockout. I was a little concerned if he would actually sign it, because it's Jordan Wicks on draft day. Jordan was the first round pick, standing with Rob Manfred. And I'm like, too soon? But he was great. He didn't even say anything. He signed away. So I got a couple Jordan Wicks cards signed. Let's see. What I'll do is I'll do a video for people that want to like actually see all of the autographs. I'll do a video, but I just want to kind of show off the highlights here. Miguel Pabon was another player that I'm sending cards actually to his family in Puerto Rico. He's like, man, I love these. So, and then he's like, can you send me a picture? When I DM'd him to get his address, he goes, can you send me a picture so I can show my family what they look like? So that was really cool. Luke Little, awesome dude, and great family. So his mom and dad, and he's one of the highly touted pitching prospects. He was a 4th rounder 2 years ago. His mom and dad were out there for a few days, and I was able to hang out with them for quite a bit. His mom's a collector. She was a big Cincinnati Reds, Big Red Machine fan. She's like, I have cards of the starting lineup on my desk at work. She was telling me about bringing cards for Luke, his TTM requests. She's like, yeah, there were like 5 or 6 when I left, so I just brought them. Luke will sign them, and then I'll take them home and send them back. So it was cool to get that like family perspective of through the mail autographs and how some of them work. Like, family come out to visit during spring training, players sign them and send them off from either spring training or when they get back home. So it was really cool to get to meet and it's cool to meet the families of these players, because there's a lot of families that are out there, especially with the minor league guys that are on the backfields, and you just talk, because usually on the backfields there's only like 20 people max, unless there's a game, there's a little more family. So I ended up getting quite a few. I got 6 Christian Hernandez signed. I know I have them, but I just couldn't find them in time. So he signed 6 cards. So I was really happy with that. Let's see. Oh, and then I'll show off my favorite card of Brennan Davis. Very cool. It's the '89 Topps design. Top prospect for the Cubs. He's got the stash. He no longer has the stash. Shaved the stash. And then one more card I want to show off. This was a card that I didn't even think about getting signed until both players were very good with signing. It's the Chrome Franchise Futures, Ed Howard, Burl Caraway, and they signed it in gold Sharpie. It doesn't really pop, but it's for my own collection, so I don't care. So those are some of the card highlights. I'll flip through this binder. Hopefully I can get some more. There's some players that I haven't been able to catch yet, minor league guys that I made some custom cards for. So hopefully I can add to the binder today. So that's my plan. Now I'm going to end the stream, and I've got to get ready for the day. I've got to pack and then head out. So that's the plan. So today, minor league practice this morning, and then I'll go over to the game and head to the airport, drop the car off, and fly back to the upper Midwest. But fortunately, the weather looks nice. So for tomorrow, at least. So tomorrow, I don't know if I'll go live at all. I may publish some more videos, some player videos, and just random stuff that I come across from the trip. That my photo albums are absolutely on my phone, are just absolutely filled with pictures and video from out here. So tomorrow morning I will not go live, but I will go live Thursday morning, 7 a.m. So probably not see you at 7 a.m. Probably not. I don't think I get home. I don't think my plane lands until midnight Central Time. So it'll be midnight when I land. So I won't get home till 1. I'll probably still be in, like, when you get home from a long trip, it's like you're on the plane, you're like dead tired, and then all of a sudden you land and you go pick up your luggage and you drive home, and then now you can't fall asleep. So that's probably where I'm going to be. So definitely be a sleep-in day. And I think I'm going to have to eat salad and drink water for like the next week straight, to detox from a lot of beer and a lot of junk food that I've consumed over the last 7 days. So that's a wrap from Mesa. So the next time I go live, you'll see the card wall behind me, and Ken will be happy because I'll be talking baseball cards again. So and I will be happy to see the puppy and bride when I get home. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following along my travels. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Hit the like button, please. I appreciate that. And we'll catch you in a couple days.